The following is a presentation of TFNN. Time to talk about your health. Living a primal lifestyle.
You know, we have Tom from Tampa on the phone. Hey, Tom. Good morning. It's bright and early now, huh?
Hey, Paige. Good. How you guys doing, Nico?
Doing great.
Good. Hey, your newsletter's outstanding, man. I'm telling you, man, it is outstanding. And so is the Primal Edge. I love that stuff. I'd never be without it. I mean, I've been on it now 3-4 months, man. I mean, it's just, I can't get over how good I feel.
Primal Edge is, people are raving about it. People who are trying it, they know because you can feel it.
Would not be without it.
Call now, toll free at 1-877-927-6648. Internationally at 727-445-1044. Now your hosts, Nico de Haan and Paige Clarke.
Well, good morning and welcome to Living a Primal Lifestyle. I'm Paige Clarke, and this is where we explore a return to a more balanced, a natural, and a wild world.
That's right, to recover our natural health and regain our rights and freedoms. I'm Nico de Haan. 66
degrees, kind of cloudy here. We're kind of sort of not sure if we're winter or spring has sprung yet, but I hope you're enjoying nice weather where you are. Please pick up our Health Signals newsletter. News you can use in your inbox twice a month. $10 a month gets it right to you.
Yeah, and a new one coming out on Tuesday that I just finished last night. So it's going to be an interesting one because there's a lot of big articles in there about the electrical fields and things like that. So I think people need to really look at that. It's a long article and very extensive, but it covers the whole range of things that we talked about. We kind of touched on it, even though it was a whole show.
Absolutely.
There's a lot involved in that. And also, please pick up our Primal Edge. It's $89.
Get that edge for yourself.
That's right. Over 310 sale-ready ingredients. Organic, too. And, of course, it's all
stuff that helps you get the good stuff in.
And the bad stuff out.
Yep, that's exactly right, guys. If you're up and at it, give us a call at 877-927-6648.
Yep.
So, Nico, today I wanted to go over a couple of things. You know, we talk so much about food, and we're about living a primal lifestyle, and food is a part of it.
Yep.
But so is what you think, how you move, what you breathe, and what you drink, and how you rest and heal and repair. And I came across, I call it an oldie but goodie, and I have to give Joe Mercola a lot of credit. He's always kind of cutting edge. This is something from a few years ago, but he was really talking about the importance of thermoregulation.
The thing I like about Mercola is that he goes extensively into a subject, and he has a lot of the subjects that we talk about.
Super writers. He really does. Writers and researchers.
Yeah,
and
a lot of them.
Just to kind of give you an idea about the importance of thermoregulation and how that can help you not only get a better night's sleep, but help you burn extra body fat and have more energy during the day. You know, studies show that the best temperature for sleeping is actually rather cool. I like that.
Yeah.
I turn my air down. I get yelled at by my air conditioning heating guy, but I said, hey, I
think the optimal is around 60 to 68 degrees, something like that, they say.
That's right.
If you can't shut your brain off at night, your brain temperature is likely to be elevated.
That's what caught my attention. Isn't that interesting?
Yeah, cooling down your brain has positive effects on your sleep.
Yeah, so your crazy thoughts in your brain just kind of heat up the engine and make it even harder to sleep.
So when I see that picture of my dad, there's an old picture with an ice cube, one of those bags with ice cubes in it on his head.
Oh, yes, that soft thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, for a head.
Yeah, I have an old picture of that somewhere.
Or they'd use it on a tooth injury or something.
Yeah.
Maybe we should all have one of those and put it on our head before we go to bed.
Yeah.
I like that idea. So people with more brown fat, we talked about that last show. You know, white fat is subcutaneous fat. That's not the metabolically active fat. Probably is where we store a lot of stem cells and toxins.
Yeah.
But the brown fat's what makes it happen, makes us burn fat.
That's
so better blood sugar control and higher insulin.
So studies have shown in general that the optimal room temperature for sleeping is quite cool, 60 to 68 degrees Fahrenheit, and temperatures much above that or below that range can lead to restlessness. So that's one of the reasons why you turn down the temperature, and we do also at our house. And we have the cool pad that we talked about a couple of weeks ago, which is kind of, when you get in there, it's really cool, but it kind of uses your own body heat to kind of reflect back at you.
Did I ask you, is that connected to electricity, or you turn it off afterwards?
No, this one is just the pad, and it's just the fiber. Some of them have actually water going through it. It's just the fibers are cool. They're interlocked in such a way that it's cool.
Wow,
it's very cool.
That is cool. You always had the cool stuff.
But they have things that water runs through. They have some of them that are regulated. That gets into electricity and stuff like that that I don't want to deal with.
Yeah, we don't want any extra electricity on our bodies. That's right, yeah. So,
but a new study suggests that there are nuances to this phenomenon, and that a restless night's sleep may be more complicated than simply turning down the thermostat.
There you go, yeah. So thermoregulation in general, helping your body regulate its body temperature. As I've learned from Dr. Jack Cruz, our eyes are not just cameras, but they're actually clocks. And our body is signaled by light and temperature. So temperature is almost as important as light, or let's just say they're equally important. They're equally important. That's really what I meant to say.
Well, it's they're both waves, you might say, light wave and heat wave, and cold waves. They certainly
These are signals that are used to not only control our sleep signals, but a lot of other signals in our body. Even lying down can stimulate sleepiness and redistribute your body heat from your core to your peripheral organs and tips of your fingers and tips of your toes.
Yeah, it's interesting. One of the things he says, while you sleep, your body's internal temperature actually drops to its lowest level of the day, generally about 4 hours after you fall asleep. So that's kind of in the middle of your REM cycle, I would say.
Right.
So
that's very good. And a lot of people don't realize that sleep deprivation has virtually the same effect on our immune system as physical stress or illness.
Yeah.
So not getting that sleep, we're not getting into that REM sleep, we're not getting into our rest and repair.
Yeah, researchers have determined that insomniacs typically have a warmer core body temperature just before bed than normal. So probably a good idea to cool yourself down. Maybe that dunk that I take should be done before I go to bed.
Yeah, well, they actually make a comment here that getting cold, I'll have to get to that point, may interrupt your sleep a little bit. Maybe not want to do it right before bed, but maybe a little earlier in the evening, or give yourself a little time.
After dinner or something.
Because it says, you know, in the summer here it said that if you're shivering can disturb sleep, and that's an important reaction after an exposure to a cold.
Yeah, because the shivering is what
generates the brown fat.
Yeah, and it generates that burning of it. Keeping a cool head, or more specifically a cool brain.
Keep a cool head.
Yeah, or specifically a cool brain. That's even cooler, I guess. Appeared to induce sleeplessness. No,
sleepiness. Makes you sleepy.
Sleepiness, okay. Researchers from the University of Pittsburgh School of Medicine found that a cap worn by insomniacs filled with cool, recirculating water helps them sleep more easily than people without the sleep disorders.
I think we could have a revival of that little ice. My mom has one in the freezer. You know, that soft thing.
Primal cap or something.
That soft thing that then they put on your head before you go to bed. That's very interesting. And
the cool, let's see, these caps were set to the lowest temperatures were able to get more sleep than the ones that were set at slightly warmer. So the cap's success can be explained by the fact that the heightened brain activity raises the body's, or the brain's temperature.
Yeah, I didn't realize this about yawning. Cooling off your brain makes sense as melatonin, which is the sleep hormone.
Right. Actually cools your body down a little bit. Yeah.
Works in part by lowering your body temperature, but yawning also does too. So yawning might be something that you're doing, pulling air in to kind of cool off that engine.
There's this old wives' tale that says yawning, you don't have enough oxygen.
Yeah, well, maybe it's just you're too hot. How about that?
Are we too hot, folks? I don't know.
Hang with us. We'll be right back. We're going to take a short break.
Yeah, and pick up the Primal Edge, folks. You know what's cool? Taking something that's good for you. Something specifically formulated to help with weight loss, better sleep, stress reduction, and the need to detox.
Nico, our hunter and gatherer ancestors found all their nutritional requirements for health in their wild environment. But today, our food sources no longer contain the vitamins, minerals, and nutrients our bodies need to stay healthy and strong.
That's why we need Primal Edge Daily Nutrition. It includes a special blend of ionic, oil-based vitamins, minerals, fatty, and amino acids in an easy-to-use liquid form.
Primal Edge is powered by highly concentrated fulvic and humic acids, nature's preferred delivery system. They have been called miracle molecules because, like sunlight, air, and water, life cannot exist without them.
That's right, Paige. They ensure we receive all the nutrition we need to be healthy and thrive. We take it every morning.
Primal Edge, formulated and approved by Nico and Paige of Living a Primal Lifestyle. Buy it today for just $89. Click on the Primal Edge banner on the front page of TFNN.com. Platinum, grains, crude oil, gold, copper, cattle, hogs, gasoline, natural gas, coffee, cotton, cocoa, and sugar. These are just some of the commodities mentioned in the most recent issue of Andy Hecht's Techno-Mental Commodity Report. Andy publishes his weekly newsletter every Thursday morning, where he breaks down the commodity market and provides his subscribers with specific trading recommendations based on his trading methodology. By signing up for a free trial to the Techno-Mental Commodity Report, you'll get a full 30 days to try out this powerful newsletter service and see for yourself the types of trades Andy has recommended for his subscribers. When you sign up for a 30-day free trial, you're under no obligation to pay anything. And should you decide to continue, you will lock in the low rate of only $79 a month. Sign up right now for the Techno-Mental Commodity Report and make sure you're ready to catch the next big trade in commodities. For more information and to get started today, visit the front page of TFNN.com.
Will the S&P 500 continue to climb? For bold trades on U.S. large-cap stocks in either direction, trade SPXL, SPUU, or SPXS. Directions Daily S&P 500 Bull and Bear Leveraged ETFs. Direction Leveraged ETFs. An investor should carefully consider a fund's investment objective, risks, charges, and expenses before investing. A fund's prospectus and summary prospectus contain this and other information about Direction shares. To obtain a fund's prospectus and summary prospectus, call 866-476-7523 or visit directioninvestments.com. A fund's prospectus and summary prospectus should be read carefully before investing. An investment in the funds is subject to risk, including the possible loss of principal. The funds are designed to be utilized only by sophisticated investors such as traders and active investors. Distributor Foreside Fund Services, LLC.
Nico and Paige take your phone calls now. Toll free at 1-877-927-6648. Internationally at 727-445-1044.
Welcome back. Nico and I are talking about thermoregulation. Here's the part that got my attention, the secret to burning more fat while you sleep.
Oh.
I mean, why not get two great benefits at the same time, great sleep and burn some body fat? There's some research that's come out from the National Institute of Health a couple years ago, suggests that sleeping in a cool room has the significant calorie and fat burning health benefits. And it was someone from the chairman of the Virginia Commonwealth University's Division of Endocrinology and Metabolism said even a small reduction in your room's temperature helps your body to burn calories and get rid of excess blood sugar.
Yeah, thanks to your body's brown fat.
Mm-hmm.
And brown fat regulates your heat by burning the calories, which is why it's kind of like a tool for weight loss, you might say. So
yeah, that makes sense.
It's healthy in metabolism. The more brown fat you have, the better it is. And there's direct correlation, it says here, between your level of activity or activated brown fat and the optimal metabolic markers that we use in medicine.
Well, you know, Nico, I'm all about trying to get that sleep time to be, we should have our sleep area a sanctuary.
Mm-hmm.
So here we can take some steps in the right direction, right?
Right.
You know, a week or so ago when I had the building the geobiologist, Brian Hoyer, to my house, he had actually just been to Mercola's house the day before.
Right.
So you're going to be seeing my friend Brian Hoyer, I'm sure, being interviewed by Dr. Mercola, and then his business is going to go crazy. But it was rather sobering, all the things that are required to make our sleep rooms healthy. So this is one of the things, and we're working on the temperature and the adaptation. But there are so many things that I was not aware, in addition to the cell phone towers and the smart meters and everything that are creating a constant electrical stress and the chaotic electric that may be in your house, but also the geopathic stress that we literally have underground rivers and so forth and ley lines and so forth that put out energy that you could say is natural, but it's not necessarily beneficial to the body. So everything we do, we want to improve this sleep.
Yeah, and it's just not that. I mean, our modern society, yesterday, of course, we had that tragedy in South Florida
yes.
with the 17 people being killed, and this seems like it's going on, and everybody, of course, we're sorry about that, and then there's going to be the gun debate, but, you know, as I always say,
we have a mental health issue in this country. We've got a stress issue.
Yeah,
we've got people that aren't able to, or, you know, are having their minds messed with, too, is another big issue.
And this, I believe, is the symptom of our society. It's the way we live. It's certainly all of this that we're talking about today, but it also is much more than that. It's the being apart from the people we love. It's throwing our children into school too early. It's moving away from our friends and the people that we grew up with. I moved so many times when I was young. I always envied the people that have these lifetime friends. Now, I do have lifetime friends. Don't get me wrong. But luckily they moved here. You know,
That's right.
It's disruptive to the type of people. We were very social beings, and we need connection with people. And now we have really a false connection with the Facebook and all these things. These are false connections, not real connections.
Oh, and not only that, what they're doing now, you know, I put out that thing to see if people would comment a couple weeks ago, is they're creating an island where you're talking to yourself. You think you have all these friends?
Yeah.
But you're just really talking to yourself, and they cut you off from people who maybe are a little left or right of what you think. And, hey, I love my friends. I don't care what they are. I don't want to just hear my own self think or talk.
Well,
but that's kind of what they're doing,
yeah,
create
the
islands of
algorithms
people.
are creating things that the more you go to something, the more you're going to see the same thing.
Right.
So that's the worst thing you want. I mean, if you want a diversity. Exactly.
Right. Well, you know, I was thinking a little bit, and I know we digress, guys, and we'll get back to how shivering activates brown fat. But I was thinking about when you made the comment, you know, this always brings up the gun debate, and I really don't think the guns are debatable. The guns need to be here. I'm a firm believer in that amendment. However, I do think we've got an issue with mental health and clarity, because I think back of tribal. If we were tribal and I was the women and the children were looking for the men in our society to keep us safe, we wouldn't say, hey, dudes, take away your spears and your things. You just need to, like, be there and hope that we're safe. You'd want those people armed to take care of. So I think really what we need to do, if this is going to continue, is we need more guns in the way of armed guards at our children. Literally maybe one in every classroom. More guns in the schools to protect the kids, because it's not the guns that are causing the shooting. It's probably the mind control through the wireless network. They have an agenda. They want an unarmed population. An unarmed population is to become the next step in completing the slave population. I mean,
the way I want I don't want weapons in our society would be because I don't need it. Because we don't need it.
Yeah, but we've de-evolved.
Well, we also have the government. I mean, that's the biggest fear of people, and that's why we have guns.
Well, we need to have our guns to protect ourselves from the government.
That's what I was just saying.
And that's what our forefathers said, too.
Yeah. Well, they said a militia. This is not a militia, but I do believe in owning guns. I have one. I have a shotgun just for home protection, and I bought one just in the last year. So I think it's important. AK-47s and things like that, rapid shooting. I think we're allowed to have these things, but yeah, it can be a problem. I can understand why people say you take away the gun, but it's still, that's an underlying thing. That's something aside. It's the mental health issue.
There's 20 gun murders, shootings every day in Chicago. That's the city that's all anti-gun, right? We don't hear about that on the news.
No, I have heard that on the news, but we have lots of guns. We know we have lots of guns, and it's the problem is, I think it's a mental health issue. I heard one neighbor saying, there was no sign of this at all, but if you look at the guy's Facebook page that they brought up on another channel, he was saying he was going to do this. So if there was no sign, nobody's reading that. So obviously the parents...
Yeah, Facebook censors people talking about whether or not a food is healthy or not. Maybe they should pay attention to... They should be censoring things that are actually dangerous instead of keeping people from...
Well, maybe not censoring, but at least alerting somebody. I mean, if I had one member of my family saying, what I feel like really doing, going down to my office and shooting everybody, that's a sign right there.
Oh, that should have flagged something right away. But, guys...
But there are always
still questions.
Flags
is it real or or is it Memorex? So we'll, or is it a false flag and there's a purpose?
It's just a sad thing.
It's a sad thing.
Those people, I mean, I cannot imagine what's going through, and what you're talking about now is another thing, is teaching these children how to escape and things like that, which I think certainly is important. There needs to be a discussion, and certainly kids that have to know how to take care of themselves.
Well, what do you think? I mean, maybe this is a sign that as we become more awake and realize how these situations are tragic, but tragically being used to change society, maybe this is a sign that parents just need to raise their children themselves and just keep them out of those environments that
well, certainly,
are at risk,
the longer the children are with the parents, I think that's much healthier.
Yeah.
And school taught at home, I think, is a big thing, or in a small neighborhood setting instead of these huge schools. I don't like kids going in. I mean, when I came to Michigan and went to school there, I couldn't believe it, because our high school had maybe 800 people. And the high school in Detroit had 5,000. I go, oh, wait a minute, this is different. So I think on a smaller level, the type of thing that we always had was the tribe, or the extended tribe, which is things teaching us, and part of our tribe here at TFNN. All these things are things that can help us to educate ourselves. And,
that's right.
Again, it's a symptom to our society, so we have to go from the bottom up, not from the top down.
Comment is, guns are great, but can't figure out the need for assault rifles. True.
Yeah, I don't either.
But you know what? The bad guys always figure out how to get them.
Yeah, that's for sure, too. We'll be right back, folks.
Would like to tell you about the personal training studio that Nico is the owner and president of, Performance Training. Since 1998, Nico has trained individuals and groups to improve their health both mentally and physically. As a certified personal trainer, Nico's main focus is on demonstrating exercises correctly to avoid injury and teaching his clients how to manage their past injuries while getting the most out of their personal training sessions. The Performance Training Studio is filled with unique training equipment that enhances balanced results at a faster rate while minimizing damage and discomfort. For more information, you can give Nico a call at 727-418-8740 or email him at nico@tfnn.com. Let him know you heard him on TFNN and save up to $100 on a special package just for TFNN listeners. Act today.
Tiger TV is an exciting way to experience TFNN programming. See high-definition video, giving you crystal clear charts, as well as seeing some of the faces of TFNN's highly acclaimed financial experts with crisp, full-fidelity sound. Catch Tom O'Brien, John Logan, Steve Rhodes, Basil Chapman, Larry Pesavento, Think or Swim, David White, Andy Hecht, and Daryl Martin in crystal clear, high-definition audio and video. Tiger TV, exclusively at TFNN.com.
Has the current market volatility continued to stop you out of trades when the market spikes against you? Now is the perfect time to open up an account with Nadex. Nadex, the North American Derivatives Exchange, is a brand new, completely regulated Chicago-based exchange, and unlike most other exchanges, Nadex allows you to trade directly through them with direct market access when using their completely free trading platform, which also features real-time charts and full customization capability. One of the advantages of trading with Nadex in volatile markets is that your risk is always capped and you have the ability of keeping your trades open even when the market spikes against you. Nadex is completely brand new with a line of unique trading products that are unavailable anywhere else. See how it works at nadex.com. That's NADEX.com. Or click on the Nadex banner on the front page of TFNN.com. Futures and options trading involves risk and may not be appropriate for all investors.
It's a special month at TFNN, and with market volatility back, we've decided to hold an open house in our Tiger's Den. For this month only, you can get a full 30 days of Tiger's Den membership without paying anything. The Tiger's Den is our interactive chat room where you can chat with other Tigers and Tigresses along with the TFNN hosts during each of their programs. For all of the details and to start your 30-day free trial to the Tiger's Den today, visit the front page of TFNN.com before this deal is gone.
This segment is brought to you by Think or Swim. For more information, just click the Think or Swim banner on the front page of TFNN.com.
And welcome back. Okay, before the break, we were talking about the assault rifles and the tragedy in South Florida, Parkland. It's a big problem. Mental health, sure, is a part of the whole thing, but I think it's the whole structure of our society, the way we're doing business, the way we're eating, the way we school our children, the way our politicians run our country, the way we're trading on the internet. I think all of this has, right now, our physical labor is what you're going to get paid less for than anything else. The most money people make off of watching the internet and things like that. And that's certainly a turn completely 180 from what our ancestors were all about. Our ancestors were about sharing things because you couldn't make it on your own. It's very hard to survive in the wild just by yourself. Some people can do it, but you'll go crazy after a while. So our whole society structure is disrupted, whether it's planned obsolescence or whatever, it's there, and this is how we change things. We change things by buying our food locally first, getting to know our neighbors, and starting to build a society that's built around a tribal type of situation, which means maybe we're not born into a tribe, but we can create a tribe in the neighborhood, getting to know our people, having different tribes like my jiu-jitsu pals, people we know we can count on, people that we can trust. Right now we have a society that a school is filled with all kinds of things that the children do not feel safe, and they get so bad that somebody gets pissed off, and all of a sudden they're going to go in there and shoot people. This is how frustrated they are. It's a frustration level saying, I'm not getting any help, nobody loves me, or whatever the thing is, and it starts from the bottom. It starts from that beautiful thing that we have in our society long ago from the tribe where everybody trusted each other.
Remember
and
that
we counted
saying?
on each other.
It takes a village
Yeah.
to raise a child.
Yeah.
Takes a village. We've got some great comments in the chat room. Polar and Matt, thanks for chiming in. Yeah.
Anyway, let's get back to this
Yeah.
because this thing aroused my suspicion here that sleeping in the buff may be beneficial.
Well, hey, sleeping in the buff may be beneficial because Ruster Foster at the University of Oxford recommends ditching your pajamas to improve your slumber, and it's actually done by 1/3 of all the adults in the U.S., according to one study.
Yeah, I'm one of those 1/3, that's for sure.
Me?
It's
Yeah.
very difficult for me to sleep in clothes, although like, if it gets really cold, I might put something on. But
Yeah, maybe every once in a while.
Yeah.
But it really, you just feel less restricted.
Yeah.
And what's really neat about it is when you wear clothes, it prevents your core temperature from dropping easily. So if you conversely, warming your skin causes your peripheral blood vessels to widen, promoting heat loss. To summarize, if you want to fall asleep easily, you'll need to be warm enough that your blood vessels won't constrict, but not so hot that your body can't cool down. Kind of like, just right porridge, not too hot, not too cold. Said Goldilocks.
Porridge, ooh.
Remember Goldilocks? Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. What are the health risks of poor quality sleep? Well, there's a lot of them.
Yeah, a lot of people are sleeping less than 6 hours a night. And, hey, we've got to work on that. And we've got to work on finding ways to get our bodies into a rest and repair state. And this is what we're saying, guys. It's a temperature issue. It's a blue light issue. It's an electromagnetic frequency issue. And we're going to be focusing a lot more on this stuff.
And I think there's a lot more to it. The whole basis of our society is there's more people with less sleep now than ever before.
Yeah, we're
So
sleep
this isn't
deprived, and it's causing mental health issues, and the nutrition is feeding mental issues.
That's right.
As Matt says. What happens when you have interrupted or impaired sleep? He says to scroll down. He's got something going on. It increases your risk of heart disease. 4:30 in the morning is too early to get up. I agree.
Our producer says that for sure.
Yeah,
He
we
gets
get
up
up.
a little.
Well, I have to get up that early because
I
of
have to
my
get up
drive.
5, yep.
Yeah, because of the drive here. But it's been a little tough thing for me.
So let's
but-
go over some of the health risks. So number one that's listed here is increased risk of heart disease, which I didn't really realize, but it makes sense because that's the electricity.
And
goes
I
through the
really
body.
think, remember what it said earlier, that the sleeping cold and deep is important for balancing blood sugar levels, and I think cortisol and blood sugar levels that are not balanced in sleep really create the problem. We know insulin's implication in heart disease, and also it causes brain shrinkage. I don't want my brain to shrink.
Yeah, that's for sure. It says halting new cell production and interfering with brain detoxification, contributing to a buildup of these plaques.
Yeah, the amyloid plaques that are indicated in Alzheimer's and so forth.
Dementia and things like that. Yeah.
Exactly.
Impair your ability to lose excess pounds and maintain your ideal weight. So if you're sleeping poorly, your hormones like leptin and renal
and ghrelin and cortisol, they can get high or low or out of balance, and this can really create some issues. I myself have had some trouble, I think, as a result of my sleep. Always have had perfect sleep, and in the last year or so, not so much.
And of course, it leads to diabetes in the long run too. It makes you feel hungry, even if you've already eaten, which can really of course, damage your weight, everything else, too.
Here's one that you guys may not be aware of, that we see as accelerated tumor growth. And this is primarily due to disrupted melatonin. So what do you guys know? Here's a quiz. When do we make our melatonin?
Well, we make it in the morning with the morning sun.
That's right. You're so smart. That's right. So when we look at the early morning sun, that is when we actually are making the hormones melatonin for our sleep. How many people actually take the time in the morning to look at the sun? Or if you live in Florida in the last 2 months, how many even see the sun in the morning? Because we've been being geoengineered, sprayed so bad you don't see the sun. But it is important to get out there and try and catch it.
Yeah.
So, this actually helps lower hypertension if you get good sleep.
That makes sense.
Yeah. Because if you're not.
So he has a simple trick to help you spend more time in what we call the deep sleep, which is the ROM sleep. So deep sleep is one of the most important phases of sleep, where your body repairs and regenerates and your immune system is
R&R
strengthened.
stage.
Yeah, and the more time you spend in this crucial deep sleep phase during the night, the more refreshed you'll feel in the morning. Sound stimulation, which you use, has been found to be effective for prolonged sleep. So if you're having trouble, try that little trick. And there's little sound machines do work. And
they're super, yeah.
They're great when you're traveling.
They entrain the brain. So yeah, there was a study published in this journal, Neuron, that playing the pink noise really helps. Pink noise, white noise really helps to entrain the brain, so you can drift off.
Yeah, I've never heard of pink noise before, but it's like kind of the same as the white noise, I guess. Pink noise more women friendly, I don't know. Yeah,
so I see some comments here. Yeah. Just talking a little bit about the overcast, so to speak. So here's some electronic gadgets and other sources of sleep disturbance. If your sleep is being interrupted, the first step is to determine the cause. Well, we just said it can be electromagnetic, it can be chaotic electric, it can be blue light and toxic light that interrupts the sleep. It can be the sounds. It can be the underwater currents. We really have to start doing. But here's a few things that you can do. Most sleep disruptions are related to environmental factors. Take control of your environment. That's living a primal lifestyle, guys. Number one, eating the worst foods for sleep too close to bedtime, such as a heavy meal.
Unhealthy fats.
The bad kinds of fats,
vegetable oils.
Too much sugar right before you go to bed.
Spicy foods, coffee, dark chocolate, those are the things. Now, dark chocolate right after a meal is fine, but if you take it just before you go to sleep, then that has a little caffeine in it probably.
Here's something that's going to make a lot of people sad, though, right before we go. Let's finish these couple things. Pets in your bedroom. I mean, that can be a distraction. Yeah. Your pain. If you're not alleviating your pain, that's going to be disruptive to your sleep. And a lot of people find that nightly nightcap may not be giving the best sleep, right?
Yeah.
And again, we're getting rid of those electronic devices and toys that we all have. Give yourself some space.
We'll be right back.
You know what's cool? Taking something that's good for you. Something specifically formulated to help with weight loss, better sleep, stress reduction, and the need to detox.
Nico, our hunter and gatherer ancestors found all their nutritional requirements for health in their wild environment. But today, our food sources no longer contain the vitamins, minerals, and nutrients our bodies need to stay healthy and strong.
That's why we need Primal Edge Daily Nutrition. It includes a special blend of ionic, oil-based vitamins, minerals, fatty, and amino acids in an easy-to-use liquid form.
Primal Edge is powered by highly concentrated fulvic and humic acids, nature's preferred delivery system. They have been called miracle molecules because, like sunlight, air, and water, life cannot exist without them.
That's right, Paige. They ensure we receive all the nutrition we need to be healthy and thrive. We take it every morning.
Primal Edge, formulated and approved by Nico and Paige of Living a Primal Lifestyle. Buy it today for just $89. Click on the Primal Edge banner on the front page of TFNN.com.
No matter what kind of trader you are, 2018 is a great time to try out a subscription to Tom O'Brien's Gold Report. Whether you just plan on diversifying your portfolio with some exposure to gold and gold mining equities, or you're a gold bull that sees 2018 as the year of commodities, now is a great time to sign up for the Gold Report. Tom O'Brien publishes his Gold Report every Monday morning before the market opens and covers a variety of topics including gold, silver, platinum, copper, the XAU and HUI, the dollar, bonds, South African rand, as well as more than 20 of the most actively traded mining equities. Start your 2018 off with a bang and sign up for the Gold Report today. The Gold Report is a long-term newsletter where the focus is on building real wealth through the management of a successful portfolio of gold stocks. For all the details and to start your subscription right now, visit the front page of TFNN.com and you'll find the Gold Report under Investment Newsletters. David White's newsletter, The Technology Insider, is focused like a laser on finding the next big things in technology. If you had invested only $10,000 in Microsoft in 1986, you'd have been a millionaire by 2000. Disruptive technology like Microsoft's is the key to these massive long-term profits, and the Tech Insider is the vehicle from TFNN to capitalize on these opportunities. This is the go-to newsletter that identifies, monitors, and profits on mostly little-known cutting-edge companies with great long-term prospects. David's experience is as an inventor of Emmy-winning animation products for TV and Hollywood that propelled a company public. Match that with 14 years as a full-time trader, and he's uniquely qualified to guide you through the light-speed world of ever-evolving high-tech. If you're ready to ride the next big technology bull market for less than $40 per month, log on to TFNN.com and get your 2-week free trial to the Technology Insider. Get in on the ground floor of the next big thing today.
Don't forget, you can listen to TFNN live on your mobile device 24 hours per day. Go to TFNN.com, then hit Watch Tiger TV. That's TFNN.com, then hit Watch Tiger TV for the latest market information.
And welcome back to the show, folks. How to get uninterrupted and restorative sleep, and that's the real goal that we're after.
Let's
for sure.
do it.
So the one thing on the list, of course, we're talking about your daily routines, things that you do on an everyday basis before you go to sleep, and how it disrupts your sleep. So these are some of the things that you should never do. One thing, of course, is avoid watching TV or using your computer or smartphone in the evening, at least an hour or so before going to bed.
Right, guys, because remember what's going on is the blue light is telling your eye clock and your eye sensors that it's broad daylight. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and that because we're not used to looking at a blue light screen. So
the other thing with that too is that it's not just the technology itself; it's the type of technology it is. Because if you read a book, then you don't have that same feeling. It's something that'll help you sleep. So thinking you're reading on a tablet is actually not good. Of course, you can turn it black, which probably helps it. But then you still have it on your lap.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
So best thing to do is shut it down for a while and grab a paper book or something like that.
I'm really working hard at that because I love to read and go down things, and I've actually found a way to connect my iPads and stuff to Ethernet, which is cool. Great. And of course I have, as you can even look at the screen difference, I have the screen, I cut the blue light on all my electronic devices. It takes some getting used to, but once you get used to it, it's good. And as you guys know, I wear my blue blocker glasses.
Except you forgot.
I ran out today, and so today I've gotten so used to wearing them, But we do need to get bright sunlight during the day. At noon, you want to get some sunlight. Sure. You want your eyes to get that signaling, and we also want just those few minutes in the morning to set that that production of melatonin.
Yeah, and if you're in darkness all day long, you can't appreciate the difference, and you will not optimize your melatonin production. That's for sure.
And like we just said, getting that sun in the morning, it's so important for your circadian rhythm.
The other thing is too that the opposite of that, of course, if we're needing all this sunlight during the day, what we need at night, and that we do not have,
is that dark, cool cave.
Yeah. exactly. And one of the things that we love in our modern society, oh, the lights are on, you know, and the street lights are on, and everything's on. And if you look at just the globe, it's lit up everywhere, and it's getting worse and worse. I would love it to have it completely dark outside.
It'd be nice if the grid just shut down. It's like, hey, guys, see the sun in the morning, you know, we don't need it right now. Yeah. Sleep in complete darkness or as close to it as possible. Literally, folks, your electric alarm clock, if anyone still uses those, that's over there with the red or blue lights, is disruptive to your circadian rhythm. And really do a biohack on your room and make sure you've got those lights turned off. You can install also a low wattage yellow, orange, or red bulb if you need a source of light for navigation at night.
Salt lamps are really handy.
Salt lamps are perfect, and you can even buy the red bulbs that are incandescent red bulbs to replace in a few lamps. So if you got 4 lamps in a room, maybe have 1 lamp that's your evening lamp, and put these
so the
red
incandescent
lights
that they're selling now are in a completely different department in many stores. They're in the decorative department for decorative lights. They're not where you get your normal light bulbs. Most of the normal light bulbs have switched over to LED or some other form of fluorescent.
Which is what you really do not want, folks.
Right.
So you really, I think that's maybe a good prepper thing. Just buy out a bunch of incandescent enough to last the rest of your life.
So keep the temperature in your bedroom below 70 degrees. We kind of talked about that earlier, but between 60 and 68 is optimal, they say. Take a hot bath from 90 to 120 minutes before bedtime. So this is kind of contrary to taking that dunk. So that kind of lulls you to sleep a little bit and lets your body, maybe the warmth, and then getting out of the tub, your body starts cooling down.
Your body temperature goes down, which tells your body, oh, it's time to sleep. Okay. Well, that's why I think I do enjoy my warm bath, but you've got to balance it with those cold plunges.
Yeah.
And then, of course, be mindful of the electromagnetic fields in your bedroom that disrupt your pineal gland, where we produce our melatonin, and may have other negative biological effects, which we're learning they absolutely do.
So let me ask you a question. You have a TV in your bedroom?
There's a TV in our bedroom, but we never turn it on. It's actually unplugged.
Yeah.
Now, every once in a while, we'll watch something, but it doesn't happen. You know, the TV's over on the other side, and I'm a hunker in. I like to read at night. And what I'm really trying to do is I do have my blocker glasses, and I am a little guilty of still getting on my device, but I'm really trying to set a time frame, 8 or 9, that I go to my hard books, because God knows I've got a lot of books.
Yeah.
And I enjoy reading from
Yeah, and we usually break it up about 8 o'clock, because I go to bed around 9, 9:30. I still have the habit of turning that TV on in the exercise room, where I kind of detune a little bit.
To just get your glasses.
Yeah.
That's why we got to get you.
Well, it's actually better if I just shut the damn thing off. You know.
Right. You know why? Because I think we actually need to rehear ourselves think sometimes.
Oh, yeah.
And I think, I'll tell you, I'm going to make a confession. I feel like when I get in bed sometimes at night, my mind is just, I'm thinking about everything I got to do or should do or woulda, coulda, should have done. And, you know, that's where, you know, one of the things that Jack Cruz told me when I was with him is you need to cool your brain off. And so when I saw this article, I was like, this is what I need to do. And what'll happen is if I'm thinking too much, I'll grab, you know, my pad or something, because when I'm reading or looking at something else, it stops my mind chatter, which are thinking about the things that are causing me to feel like I can't sleep. Yeah. And sometimes I'll get sleepy again, but what I'm trying to do is turn back into a book.
Yeah. Well, it's mind-boggling how your mind can just keep going, and most of the time I can detune with no problem, but once in a while you're laying in bed and all of a sudden your mind just keeps going and spinning around, and you know, you can't stop it with your mind, because the act of stopping it is the same thing.
Right.
You know, telling yourself to stop is the same thing as the thinking that's going on anyway. So you have to realize the paradigm or the paradigm shift, actually, that you are creating this yourself. But once your mind goes, it has a lot to do with many other things, like what you ate beforehand, what you did beforehand, like maybe you exercised too much, or I went to Jiu-Jitsu Tuesday, and well, the next 2 days I'm kind of sore, so last night I didn't sleep that well because I kept waking up because I was sore. So there's a lot of disturbances there, and you know, unfortunately we live in a world where we have to work these 8-10-hour days, and that can disrupt the sleep too, because now you have to get ready for the next day and you don't really have the time to relax. We really should be, you know, on a much different schedule. I think 3 to 4 hours a day of work is enough for the human being. This is what our ancestors always had. We had a lot of downtime.
But the invisible handlers that run this world don't want us to work. They don't want us to read Tim Ferriss's book, 4-Hour Work Week. They want us to work, 24 hours a day.
Well, it's because we have a slave mentality.
We're allowing them that to happen. We need to take our power back. Hey, that's another good video to watch. Take your power back. That's an interesting one. I typed in the chat room for those of you guys.
So I think this is just like the gun situation. The sleeping part is really how our society is built, and because we're not getting enough sleep, even really healthy people have a lot of trouble sleeping.
And the stress levels are rising and so forth. Speaking of that, one last tidbit on how to get a restorative night's sleep. It can also be nutritional deficiencies. Remember, our soil is not what it used to be. Many people are getting their soil tested and find out there's stuff that shouldn't be there. I wonder why, if it's coming from the sky.
Yeah.
But, magnesium and potassium and vitamin D, which best obtained from the sun. These nutritional things also help you to get a good night's sleep.
And of course, simple sugars also help that melatonin make it work.
Yeah, kind of like the tart cherry is a great way that helps.
Tart cherry, or even maybe a little honey.
Hey, you know what? When we come back, we're going to go through a little discussion on some nutrition for helping all of this, and then we're going to go into a very interesting one on face dunking. So stay with us.
We'll be right back.
You don't buy into that nonsense, do you? You know you can't time the markets. I didn't. And in 2006, I set out on a mission to do just that. I began by surrounding myself with the greats like Tom O'Brien, Larry Pesavento, David White, and Basil Chapman. I read countless books and even looked to the moon and planets for answers. Now, we both know that trading is 80% mental, so I learned the exact tools that Tony Robbins uses to overcome fear. I'm Steve Rhodes, author of Mastering Probability. And last March, the folks at Timers Digest began tracking my newsletter signals, which through January 18, 2018, placed me as the #1 gold timer for that exact time frame. Now, I can't officially be recognized until Timers Digest has a full year of signals, but clearly I've learned how to time the markets, and I'd like to teach you how to do that as well. Subscribers to Mastering Probability gain access to my live and archive workshops where I show you the exact same patterns that earned me this #1 ranking. If you're looking for great market calls and an education, sign up for Mastering Probability today at TFNN.com.
Hi folks, Tom O'Brien here. If you'd like to get my daily newsletter, Market Insights, then now is a great time to sign up for a 30-day free trial. Every morning by 9:30, I send out my morning letter to subscribers with market commentary on a variety of markets, currencies, and commodities to keep investors up to date on the day's trading action. Included in Market Insights are specific buy and sell recommendations for stocks, ETFs, and even options, with stops and price targets included for every trade in my newsletter. If you'd like to try my newsletter risk-free for 30 days, then head over to the front page of TFNN and you'll find Market Insights under Trading Newsletters. I use my years of trading experience to bisect and dissect the market every morning and give my subscribers the most important information they need to know for the day ahead. I even issue afternoon updates for my subscribers whenever warranted with important market action. I'm always scouring the market for the next great trading opportunity. Sign up for your 30-day free trial to my daily newsletter, Market Insights, today by visiting the front page of TFNN.com. Wow! Go get 'em, folks.
No matter where you're listening to TFNN programming, you can always access your favorite shows on demand through TFNN.com. TFNN airs live programming every market day from 8 a.m. till 6 p.m. Eastern, and you can view each program by accessing Tiger TV through our homepage. We even have an easy link for all mobile devices, including iPhones, iPads, and Android devices, located in the top right-hand corner of the TFNN homepage. You can use your smartphone to view Tiger TV, but if you don't have a connection that can keep up with streaming live video, then you can simply visit TFNN.mobi in the browser of your smartphone for live streaming audio of all our programs. The mission of TFNN is to educate our audience directly and interactively through our interactive website and call-in talk shows. TFNN is able to teach all levels of investors the technical skills needed to trade in today's marketplace. In order to get the best information possible, TFNN has assembled the most respected financial minds in the country to provide the most current news and comprehensive advice available. TFNN.com, educating investors.
And just real quick, what can we do also nutritionally to support our good sleep? And that good sleep is necessary for good melatonin so we can sleep. We want to have good vitamin D. I mentioned magnesium and vitamin E which
Primal
helps
Edge
to protect us. Primal Edge to get all the minerals that we need. And specifically, cruciferous vegetables help our own endogenous detoxification, and the berries and the polyphenols can help create free radical protectant, because these non-native EMFs are creating free radical damage. And herbs like turmeric and garlic combined with a little coconut oil and black pepper helps absorption. So just wanted to put that out to you. Hopefully that's a part of your life. But let's get to the ice face.
I love this thing.
The hack to get the benefits of cold thermogenesis. Guys, this is what Jack Cruz told me. You need to get face dunk. And that's, if you go to Jack Cruz's blog on cold thermogenesis, the first beginning is to start with face dunks.
It's good news. It's easy, it's quick, it's cheap, and your body adapts to the cold and get many benefits without the pain and hassle of actually jumping in the tub with 20 pounds of ice.
Right.
So
because you stick in your face in ice, what it works, because the vagus nerve in your face is connected to all the nerves in the rest of the nervous system, and that stimulates parasympathetic.
Yeah, I'm going to try
so
that
important.
today. Here's the protocol. You fill a shallow dish or pan with water, and you put it in your freezer. When the water is frozen solid, you take the pan out, you add a little water on top of it, stir it to make sure that the chill gets into the water. Hold your breath, put your face in the pan for as long as you can, and hold your breath. And
until you can't take the discomfort from the cold anymore. You can start slow with just a few seconds at a time, and then you can build up to long periods of time.
You can wear a snorkel if you want.
Yeah, oh, yeah. Well, that's true, I guess that.
If you want to keep it in there for 5 minutes, I can't hold my breath for 5 minutes.
Well, you would be surprised when you put your face, you start face dunking, you want to gasp because it's so cold. So it's really, I think it's kind of hard. The optimal temperature for an ice bath is around 40 to 45 degrees Fahrenheit, because you want your skin temperature down to close to 50, 55. You can order skin thermometers off of Amazon, guys, are pretty expensive. And you can use a thermometer, check the temperature of the water until you get good at estimating it. And yeah, Mercola says he uses, or whoever, oh no, this is Dave Asbury. Yeah, he says he ended up using a snorkel so he could keep his face submerged for up to 5 minutes at a time.
He's a professional.
Yeah, right. You know, doing this trick before bed every night will drop your body temperature and help you fall asleep. This might be a way to cool your head. Cooler heads prevail when it comes to sleep, although you might want to take that bath. One of the things, Jack likes us to end on cold. And when you get out of a cold, whether it's a cold plunge or a cold shower, if the shiver instinct comes, we don't want to like stop that shiver. That shiver is what's creating that metabolic stimulation where the new mitochondria are being stimulated and where the brown fat is being activated and the white fat's disappearing. So.
Yeah. So, honey, if you're watching, get that silver bowl out and fill it with water for me, about 3-4 inches, and put it in the freezer. And tonight I'll try that.
So make sure you go to Jack Cruz's 9-part cold thermogenesis series, just the best. And there's many other resources that are expounding on the benefits of cold thermogenesis. So also you might want to get into some of the sleep technology, like the sleep induction mat.
Z says here, Paige and Nico, you both make a lovely team. Please retell the story of how you guys hooked up. Yeah, we really don't have time today, but we really, well, maybe we do.
Well, real quick, you were doing the show for a couple years, and I opened in my holistic office close to your fitness center. And you said, hey, you want to come be on my show?
Well, I saw you on Facebook, remember?
Yeah, and you said, hey, you want to be on my show? I was like, oh, you're cool.
Well, first we had a little lunch because we were talking about the same stuff, and then at lunch I said, yeah, why don't you be on the show? And then we had such a blast, and somebody mentioned, you guys are like, Regis and Kelly. And I said, well, it'd be great to have somebody else to talk to, because, when you're doing this by yourself, the research is much more painstaking.
It is, and it's so fun to have someone who's interested in this stuff. I know there's lots of people interested, but to share it with someone with a cup of coffee in the morning, even though it's really early. We used to be the noon show. I liked that better. But
thanks for sticking around,
anyways,
folks. Appreciate it.
We'll see you next week, and thanks for asking, Z. We'll see you guys next week. Stay healthy.
Bye-bye.
Since 1984, Basil Chapman has been using the Chapman Wave methodology to advise traders of his expert market opinion. While originally hand-drawing charts from the late 1970s into the 1980s, Basil noticed that prices under most circumstances virtually always had a certain number of legs to the upside before declining sharply. Later, Basil found that computer software, which included the standard market technical indicators, enhanced the degree of accuracy in calling price turns, as well as market trend calls. Thus was born the Chapman wave sequence. Using the Chapman wave methodology along with other indicators, Basil Chapman advises his subscribers of his expert market opinion each market day with his opening call newsletter. Right now, you can get a 2-week free trial to the opening call, Basil's daily trading newsletter, by visiting the front page of TFNN.com. Cancel at any time during that trial and pay absolutely nothing. Get your 2-week free trial to Basil's newsletter, The Opening Call, today by visiting TFNN.com.